The Red Skies is a short Minecraft story, or should I say movie, where a plane crashes on an island and the pilot has to survive and hostile humans live on it. I've watched the short film a few times, and I came up with the proper theory about this and how the plane crashed. Our main character goes to use the restroom, and three people are left behind to control the plane, or whatever. And all of them get killed by somebody, and another character is outside the plane. So, let me prepare my theory. We meet this character named Josh, and I don't think he saw anyone enter the room, so it had to have been somebody inside the room. Or was it a setup the entire time? Hear me out here, okay? I would say go see the film if you haven't. If you already have, let's dive into my theory, as it's gonna be quite a ride. Well, I think. Later on in the movie, he finds a book that's hidden down in a cave where someone has been living. The book is written by a Harold B. Geen. I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm an idiot. But that means that somebody else was on the island and made a journal on it. So, what does that mean? The main character finds items like shields, swords, and other equipment. So that means that this person has been here for quite some time. But I'll get into that later. After our main character gets all the gear, he gets axes to cut down some trees. I should just say an axe. So he builds a little hut to bunker down in as we meet another character. The main character finds a dog wandering around, so he feeds it to keep him company, and the dog likes him. So now he has a dog. Now I know this is Minecraft and whatnot, but take it out of logic and just in a movie perspective. Why would a dog be walking around in an island? I immediately befriended him as he fed it food. And then, after the dog runs away and finds something, it finds a low entrance to a hideout deep under the ground. Why did it follow it? Here's my theory. I know this is Minecraft and they're just pillagers and whatnot. I already said movie perspective, but there must be a reason why there's just a bunch of humans in this low area and they're super hostile. Deeper down the cave, he finds a group of them, and they got Josh locked up in a cage. He fights them. Then we meet two new characters, I would say, that I think are important. We meet the group leader, possibly, who was the last one standing after all of his, helpers got murdered. And then he gets murdered, too. The main character breaks Josh out of his cage to get out of there, but before he leaves, another character appears. Out from the side of the wall appears another character, and it's all dressed up like an assassin. Now, this is where the theory comes into play. We have no idea who this guy is, but he's dressed up as, some important looking character. He almost looks like an assassin, but whatever. The character's gonna fight, the dog pushes him into a portal and whatnot, but this is Minecraft, so I'm gonna push this part aside. This is my dumb theory, but I want to think that the assassin or the higher-up dude is Harold. Now, I know this is dumb. I have multiple ones, but I think they could have helped him out and give him a higher position. Now he hunts people down. Now, how does this play into the plane crash? Well, I think he somehow got aboard, and then he planned this attack and killed them. Why else would Josh not see who got in? Because if it was the other people on the side, we saw no one in there. So I think Josh has a big part in this. Hear me out, there's multiple theories, but they planned it where they locked him up to give more of a effect to it. And after he dies, he will murder him. I know it's a really dumb theory, but they get off the boat or whatnot as they get away, and then he just murders our main character. But here's my other theory. The dog was a setup. It was used to get our main character into the villain's lair, and that's where they promptly murder him. But let me explain. The dog probably sensed the new location, decided to go exploring, and then, after a few that night, the dog promptly ran back to its actual owner's place, and the main character chased him down. Now, that would take a lot of planning, so I don't think that theory actually works, but if so, geez, these guys are pretty smart, like getting their hands pretty clean. But what if the little hideout in the cave was just passed down forever because it has round fish in it, blah blah blah. But that's why I think Harold has a big part in this. Harold could have been with them but gave up, or Harold could have been trying to survive for them and then join them because he was running out of food. Now that's a pretty good idea because they're on a freaking island. But further, no less, let's just say this guy was Harold, and he just kind of joined as the last opportunity, but they gave him a big higher up role or blah blah whatnot. Because after the character jumped out the plane that survived the crash, I wouldn't be surprised if Harold was in the same, kind of situation on the island, and those members are on it. Could have been some criminals just trying to get a nice little hideout, so they planned a perfect attack on a plane to get more victims down and make the big headlines or whatnot. So they did so. Now, there could be more of them just further out on the island, but I feel like there are some parts we are missing to the story, so I think it'd be kind of cool to see maybe they're just, them. If we are able to see through Harold's, vision, I think it could piece more stuff together, but for now, I think the Josh dude was a villain. Now that was my crappy theory, and if there ever is a sequel or more of a Harold's kind of vision, I would like to see more of it. But if there is, I'll make another theory on it, as I do think Josh was the guy who set it all up in the beginning.